So you just updated to iOS 18, but you don't know what to do first, or you don't know what the new features are? Well, I'll help you with that today. Let's begin with the lock screen. Now in iOS 18, you can finally customize those quick action buttons on your lock screen. Just go into editing your theme by tapping and holding on your lock screen, then tap Customize. Tap the lock screen on the left, then tap the minus next to either of the toggles to remove it. Tap the plus to bring up a menu of various actions you can configure to, or if you don't use these at all, you can leave them as a blank. My personal favorite is my custom shortcut that toggles between VoiceOver and Zoom, which I have set as the right button since you can swipe over on the lock screen to access the camera. I'm not 100% sure as to if this is a new feature in iOS 18 specifically, but it seems that more options have been added for different numbers for the time, which you can change by tapping on the globe button while editing the time style on the lock screen. The new iOS 18 wallpaper dynamically changes in color throughout your day, which just keeps things more interesting. Up next, the home screen. When you enter edit mode, or as some call it, jiggle mode, the plus has now been replaced with an edit button, which brings up a small menu. From here, you can add widgets, customize the home screen, or edit your pages. Let's tap on Customize, which brings up a small menu at the bottom of the screen. Here, you can enlarge your widgets and app icons and remove their name labels to more easily see and have a cleaner look. To the left is a toggle button that looks kind of like a cross between a sun and a dark mode icon, which lets you tint your wallpaper. Below the icon size option, you can set your icons to be uniformly dark, normal light icons, or tinted to a specific color. You can also set the icons to auto-change from light to dark mode. You can also lock and hide apps finally in iOS 18. Just tap and hold on the desired app until the menu appears. Then tap Lock App. You can choose between just locking the app or locking and hiding the app. Hidden apps go into the app library under a folder that must be unlocked with Face ID or your passcode to access. To remove an app's Face ID requirement or remove it from the hidden folder, just tap and hold on the app again and tap Don't Require Face ID, then scan your face to approve. And last but not least, you can finally place apps wherever you want on the home screen. Control Center has also received some welcome changes and features in iOS 18, so let's take a look. Control Center now has circular buttons and is more customizable, so you can go from this to this. While in Control Center, just tap and hold and you'll enter edit mode, or tap the plus in the top left corner of your screen. Tap Add a Control to add new items. Tap and hold on an existing item to move it around. You'll notice a minus next to all of the toggles, which removes a toggle when pressed. But a new grabber icon has also appeared. When you tap and hold on this new icon, then drag, you can expand that button or panel. This same icon is shown on widgets as well while editing the home screen and does the exact same thing as the one in Control Center. Not all of the Control Center items can be adjusted in size, but from my personal experience, the only ones I can find that can't be changed are the volume and brightness sliders and the focus mode item. In the top right corner of Control Center, there is now a dedicated power button that will bring up the slide to power off screen when pressed and held for a few seconds. Okay, now it's time to move into the apps. Let's take a look at messages. iOS 18 finally brings scheduled text messaging to iOS. Yes, you can finally schedule texts. However, with SMS messaging, I've not been able to do this, and since OCS doesn't work for me, I can't test to see if it works with it. Just open the iMessage app library and find Send Later. Set the day and time to send your text, then compose it and send it. And yes, OCS is finally being brought to messages in iOS 18, but carriers must support it. However, it's been reported to work for others. iOS 18 now allows you to use stickers in line with text like emojis. However, if the receiver is not on iOS 18, it may not show up on their end. You may have noticed the new A button with the 3 lines to the right of the keyboard in the row of suggestions. Tapping this brings up a new menu that allows you to edit your text more freely, including normal bold, italicizing, underlining, and slashing through options, but also a handful of animation options for more ways to express and emphasize how you are trying to say something. In iMessage apps, you can now use a new feature called Check-in, which can be helpful to ensure your safety by allowing trusted contacts to check in on you if you don't arrive at a designated location on time. Now, when you have events on a day, the corresponding calendar color will be displayed in place of the dot that was used to indicate events. You can also change how you view your calendar more with the options to view in compact, stacked, details, or as a list, which is my personal favorite and go-to. Reminders are now implemented into Calendar, or at least the ones that have a scheduled due date and time attached. You'll also find you can add scheduled reminders within the Calendar app in the Add Event section. And no, this does not mean the Reminders app itself has been removed from iOS. It's still in iOS. Not much has changed in Safari, but I'd like to highlight 2 key differences. In the AA page editor button found to the left in your search bar, you'll find it's been fully redesigned, whether that's for the better or for worse. It took me some time, but it eventually grew on me over the past months as I've run the developer beta on my main devices all summer since Apple's June event. If you tap on the 3 dots in the bottom right corner of the panel, you can find more settings for Safari and edit what is on the main menu when you first open it. For me, I use hide toolbar, add to bookmarks, hide distracting items, and request desktop website most of the time and have those pinned. With iOS 18, you can use a feature called Hide Distracting Items, which allows you to remove elements of a website temporarily on your device. In other words, you now have a built-in way to remove ads, and the best part is that it remembers what you hide per website. You can always reverse what you hide in the menu. The calculator not only finally comes to iPad, but it also has a brand new feature plus an overdue additional feature that I want to cover. You can finally view and recall your calculation history in the top left menu on your iPhone and iPad, but that's not all. You can switch between the basic calculator, scientific board, and math notes with the new button to the left of the 0 key. Math Notes is a new feature that allows your device to automatically solve handwritten notes both in the calculator and in Notes. You will no longer have to navigate the settings, then passwords to access your saved iCloud passwords in iOS 18, thanks to the new dedicated application Apple finally made. Not only can you access your saved passwords, you can also create new ones, view the list of passwords and networks you've connected to before, store passkeys, security codes, and take action for at-risk accounts to ensure security for all of your accounts. You can share passwords with trusted contacts in groups safely, securely, and easily since it guides you through how to do it the first time. And as a bonus, Apple has a recently deleted folder so that if you accidentally delete the wrong password, you can easily restore it. The Apple Passwords app is super user-friendly, secure with biometrics and device passcode security, and has a super clean interface. Settings has also received some heavy change. The layout has been completely updated, which will take some time to get used to, but the best part is, each section now has a description at the top to help users understand each section and find what they are looking for. The iCloud section has been added to the homepage, so you no longer have to go through your name to reach it. However, if you still want to, you definitely can. A new list of sounds has been added to iOS that you can choose from under Sounds for your notifications and Ringer. iOS 18 brings a lot of improvements and in-the-works features for accessibility, but I am planning to cover that in a different video, which will be linked in the pinned comment and updated description of this video when it comes out. Thanks for watching, and I hope I helped you get started with iOS 18.